What's up, fellow guitar addicts? I'm Caesar, and this is Addicted to Guitar, where we are everything guitar. So right now, stop what you're doing, look down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then hit the bell, because you're going to want YouTube to let you know when we're doing new videos. And we're doing new videos all the time. And today's video is going to be a twofer, actually. It's going to be a 4-month review of this awesome Slick SL51 Telecaster style guitar. You guys seem to really dig it. The video of the 1-month review of this has been doing pretty good. So I thought I would give you my opinion on what this guitar has been like to own for the past 4 months. And then I'm also going to do a little experiment. The intro solo was done with the strings that are on there now. Now these are the strings that came with the guitar from the factory. These kind of come straight from China. And they do a good job at the factory, but nobody really pulls them out and does any tweaking or anything to them or kind of sets them up. You got to kind of do that when you get to your house. So these guitars require a lot of breaking in and setup. And that's not a bad thing if you enjoy messing with guitars, and that's awesome. It gives you the opportunity to do that. And I think when you do that, you really get to know your guitar, because you kind of have to tinker with all the things that are tinkerable. Right? We'll use that word. That's a pretty good word. So I wanted to see the quality of the strings that came on the guitar, and then I'm also going to do a little bit of work with the nuts. Now I gotta say, this is the second Slick guitar I've owned. I own also the 57, which is the 3 single coil Stratocaster version with the tremolo. Now this guitar out of the box played pretty good. It just needed some minor adjustments, a couple little burrs off the neck, the whole breaking in period, because everything is stiff and hasn't really been played at all. But I've got to say, I put about a month or month and a half into it, and then this guitar started to really rock. Now the Stratocaster is a different version. The nut is the same nut, and they're actually cut okay, but they're not really sanded down and smoothed out. So there's a lot of little flakes and stuff from the graphite that comes off when they do these. Now on the Telecaster, it really isn't that big a deal because you're not really messing with the tremolo. So as long as the nut is cut okay and the intonation's okay, everything goes back in tune relatively easy. The G string on this one doesn't have a problem where if you bend it, it doesn't go back into tune. But I'm having that problem on the Stratocaster, and I think it's just because when the nuts are cut, they're cut a little rough, and nobody kind of goes in there and puts a little sauce and sands them out and everything. So that being said, I'm going to do that to this guitar, and I'm going to change the strings, and then I'm hoping when I come back and I show you guys what it sounds like, it'll be better. And it'll give us an opportunity to see the quality of the strings that come on this guitar. Like I said, these are the strings that came on it from China. They weren't bad. I played them for about 4 months. I own a lot of guitars, so I didn't play this guitar every day for 4 months. I think that's why the strings lasted as long as they did. But it's about time for a change. And I'm going to put Ernie Ball Slinky 9s on here. And we're going to see how these strings compare to those. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the work to it, and then I'm going to do basically the same solo with the same amp simulator that I use and the same backing track, and you can kind of hear how it sounds. All right, let's give it a shot. Alright guys, so I'm really enjoying making this video. So what you've just heard, and the solo you heard before that, are the new strings, and I basically plugged in, I didn't change anything else other than the strings on the guitar, and right off the bat, the output of the guitar is a lot louder. So that has a lot to be said about the quality of the strings. These are your standard Ernie Ball 9s in the fuchsia package. Probably my second favorite string. I think I prefer the D'Addarios a little more, but the Slinkies feel a little more metallic-y, if that is a thing. Anyway, right off the bat, like I said, the output is louder. So the amps in that I didn't touch any of the knobs on is pushing a little harder. It's a little more distorted. You can definitely hear that. I guess that was to be expected, right? They are new strings, and the strings that were on it came from China, so they weren't probably Ernie Ball Slinkies. Is that upside down? No, it's correct. So they probably weren't Ernie Ball Slinkies, they probably weren't D'Addarios, but right away this guitar feels so much better with the new strings, I gotta say. And this guitar felt good to begin with, so you can just imagine how awesome it's feeling right now. Now, the one thing I'm going to say I'm not enamored with is the nuts. I'm not sure if it's the material that it's made out of or what it's cut from. You know, the material isn't bad. It doesn't make the guitar sound bad at all. The cuts, although it's not doing anything to put you out of tune or mess with the intonation, it's cut nicely. It isn't cut with a lot of time and effort into it. So I had to work it a little bit. Some of the cuts aren't exactly straight. They are a little lopsided. But the relief at the nut is good when you check the action at the 3rd fret and then you push down and you see how much distance you have between the 1st fret and the string. That actually is really good. They got a real good ratio all the way around. It's pretty consistent. It doesn't touch the fret, but it's not too far away from the fret, so it feels good. But I had to smooth it out and use another string and take out the burrs and the little pieces that were out there. So that probably is my only complaint with this guitar so far, is that. Now, another thing I noticed too is that the brass on the bridge, brass is a little softer than steel. So the strings are already making their notches in them. Now that isn't a bad thing, but I did notice it. So there is a downside to having the brass hardware, and I'm going to give you a quick look there. As you can see, it's kind of orangey, and that's because it is brass. Now, I think the brass does contribute to the bright sound of it, but that might be a downside. Also, I put a little effort into the pickup height. When the guitar came out of the box, the pickups were bright and harsh, and right off the bat, that tends to be pickup height. So I just pulled them back a little bit, and they actually sound a lot better. A lot of people's biggest complaint with this guitar is the quality of the pickup or the sound of the pickup, but I think once I pulled it back and I gave it a little angle, I'm actually digging it, at least with the amp sims that I'm using right now. Not bad. So there we go. I'm still loving my SL51 Slick guitar, so I want to let you guys know. As I find things that I like and dislike about it, I'll let you know, because it seems like there's a lot of interest in these guitars online, and the video that I did of the 1 month review is probably the best liked video so far, so I wanted to give you guys a little more of what you're digging. Okay, so this was a lot of fun. Obviously, if you like strings, the Ernie Ball Slinkies are pretty cool. I tend to like 9s. 9s are a little brighter on Les Paul style guitars with the two pneumatic bridges. I prefer 10s because you can adjust the tension in the back, so you can still have the snap of a 10, but they're not too difficult to play. And on guitars with tremolos, I prefer 9s also. So that's me. I don't know if you guys have watched the Rick Beato video where he goes through the different gauges of strings and how they adjust or change your sound. It's a great video. I recommend you check it out, especially all you guys that are players of 11s and think that 11s are your sound. You know, 11s are great if your playability is harsh and you're real rough with the strings, or if you're playing real metallic metal stuff and you've got like that low B going on, then yeah, you definitely need some 11s. But if you're trying to do like a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing and play 11s, I don't think the 11s contribute to a sound at all. I think the 11s, or what people say the 11s were for, was because he had really strong hands and he would over fret and over bend the strings, so the 11s help compensate. But I gotta say, if you like sound-wise, 9s seem to be pretty good. So I definitely recommend you check out the video, Rick Beato's video on string gauges. Okay, and then stop what you're doing right now. Stop. Look down there. Yeah, look down there. Are you subscribed? All right, we'll go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and then there's a little bell that comes afterwards. Hit the bell because you're going to want YouTube to let you know when we're doing new videos. And later on this month, we're going to be doing our giveaway video for the little tape machine pedal that we're giving away. So stay tuned for that, guys. And thanks for watching.